This is the John Hallett Podcast with John Hallett.
It's because the way we're living, we need to change it, make a change today, and all learn from failure. Maybe they just wanted it a little bit more than you. That's probably the fact.
And now your host, John Hallett.
Welcome back. I am John Hallett. Thanks for joining me again. Or if it's your first time listening, we greatly appreciate it. Today we were talking about just changing the world. Is that the title, Josh?
Yeah, how to change the world.
You know, I don't know how to do it. This is my way of doing it, getting my voice out there. I also say it's a record for my kids of their dad. It's the big reason, kind of modern day journaling, I guess, of me. I'm terrible at journaling. I say a lot. Josh, right. I say right a lot as well. So I am not. I'm still in training. I'm a podcaster in training, right?
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of young. What is it? What's the stupid little Jedi word? Padawan?
Youngling? Padawan?
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Padawan?
Yeah.
Youngling.
Padawan.
Youngling.
Younglings are like this. Padawan, little taller. I'm supposed to have a braid in my hair for you, though.
What's that?
Padawan's supposed to have a braid in their hair.
Oh.
But you'd rip it out in training, you would.
Yeah, I'd rip that out.
You would.
But our world is always difficult. You know, my wife was stressed out the other day. You know, it just seems like one thing after another. I'm always going. And I always go, we can go move to the hills. Get the heck out of there. I was just watching a YouTuber that does real estate, and it was the cheapest places to buy land, and some of them didn't look all that great. But there was one in southern Colorado, but it's still southern Colorado. And you know, $16,000 for an acre. You're like, oh my goodness. I paid $85,000 back in, I don't know, goodness gracious, how long ago that was, on Nantucket Island for 3/4 of an acre. I wonder how long ago that was.
That's not that much.
It's around 30, you know, around 30 years ago, I guess. Maybe a little bit under that. But you're like, oh, geez, 16,000. That would be cool. Versus what a acre in, let's just say, I don't know, someplace good, Jackson Hole. what are you laughing at?
Someplace good, right?
Someplace
There's plenty of land out there.
I mean,
But I want someplace
I got
good.
500 acres in the freaking desert. I mean,
I
still that'd be kind of cool. I mean,
would.
you could put an underground bunker there, but gosh.
Oh, that's all I want. You know, it's like a bunker and a little, you know.
But yeah, now you need to get to it.
I know.
I'm tied down. I don't want to be tied down in the apocalypse.
Right. You're a pirate. You're going to go around and you're going to
Go around and
steal
do
everything.
some stuff.
Or do some stuff. Big quotes, stuff.
Do some stuff. I'm just trying to survive, Josh. I'm just trying to survive.
Boom, boom. Book a plan.
But this world is crazy. It really is. You look at different things we were talking about before the podcast started. I'm listening to Joe Rogan, and he's got a great guy on there, Gary Brecka, 10X Health. Highly recommend you guys listen to that. Really good. Talking about just testing and a genetic myelination test where you can treat to your deficiencies and just different things that are wrong. And he's saying things that I've heard, you know, Huberman will talk about. Paul Saladino is fantastic. There's just so much crap out there. How do we change it? How do we change this stressful world of like we're always going, especially when we have kids and this and that. And it's difficult. It is really difficult. You know, my wife was venting and stressed out and like, she's like, I don't have all this time that you do for listening to podcasts and cold plunging and sitting in the sauna. We got one of those little cheap little steam units off of Amazon because this is not our forever house and I didn't want to put in the effort of doing that. And so I'm like, I'm not doing this. I'll buy one of these cheap ones on Amazon. And it's good. It's a steam one. You know, there's benefits, this and that. I don't want to get sidetracked on that. But she was kind of making it like I'm sitting around the office with my feet up. I'm like, some of my stuff is kind of mindless. That you're just running the business. If you're charging out pro shop charges, if you're doing this and that, even, you know, I post here my little, I was calling it the daily message, and then Josh told me to Call
What?
it something else.
I didn't.
You did.
When?
Last week you said make it perennial.
Fine. Okay, you're right. Fine.
This is why I beat you up on that other one.
This is why I can't remember things, because you do beat me up.
I punched you in the stomach. Is that what your brain is?
I've been told my head is in my ass. Well, it doesn't matter.
It depends on who we're going to.
Right.
If
Tara
Tara
would be
would
like,
probably
yes,
say something else.
It's
and you
totally up
wouldn't
his
want to
ass,
punch
so
him.
don't kick him in the butt. But yeah, I like that feel. But this is still your monologue.
I'll listen to the podcast doing our bulldog floor scrubber. Or a podcast. I listen driving. It might take me a while. I listen in the cold plunge, but she was really venting. And I was just, I'm like, you got to make time. You're always feeling busy. Her kids are a little bit more. My two stepsons, especially one without a license in sports, and it's always something. My daughter's got her license, and it's a lot tougher that way. So, and she's got a kid with type 2 diabetes, type 1 diabetes. Why am I messing that up? She's gonna be pissed.
You're digging your own grave, dude.
Digging my own grave.
You're digging your own grave.
Well,
I can't
let's
help
not
you.
even. Maybe that's what you want to do.
No, I don't want to dig anybody's
You were
grave.
trying to assassinate me.
When?
You and your wife were talking about killing me. I don't even know what
Well,
you guys
yeah.
are doing anymore.
All right, now I got to bring myself in.
No,
because
don't
people-
bring yourself
Okay,
in.
fine. I'll do it from the shadows.
Algorithm.
She asked me, how would you kill John? I was like, probably
Have him dig a hole.
from 200 yards.
Have
You know?
him dig a grave.
I fought him enough to
And,
know that I want to be close.
But yeah, she's got a lot on her plate. And,
Yeah.
I make my daughter do a lot of stuff and be independent, like stuff that she's doing for God. I'm like, you own it. Like, you've got to do a lot of legwork. I'm not going to baby you through this stuff. And, every kid's different. So she's got a lot on her plate. And she's stressed out. But, I'm kicking back and doing all this, like, hell stuff. I mean, one of the things I got off of there, and I kind of thought it was a little hooky, maybe. I'm like, really? Like the whole grounding thing of earthing, connecting to the earth. And I think there's really something to it. And that, Gary Brecka, I hope I'm saying that right, 10X Health, just check out the podcast on Joe Rogan. It's like 3, I think it's within the last couple episodes. He's like, you can see it, you can test your blood and see the pH and the change in your blood by earthing. I was like, all right. I'm like, well, Leo likes to go outside when I have my morning coffee, try to chill out and have some downtime, even though, like, sometimes I am just checking email and seeing, what I need to delete, what is going to need some attention, whatever, or just chilling out for kind of my mid-morning, right? I'm here at the gym at 5 o'clock, do a little light training, and I just chill out. So I'm like, well, maybe I'll try this earthing thing. So Leo was psyched. I mean, I usually make him sit on the stupid little front porch of ours. So I can't even call it a porch, but stoop, entryway. It's not that big enough for one chair. And I'm like, all right, Leo, let's go out to the grass. And now I'm out there barefoot. And I hung out there for 10 minutes talking to Leo, texting my instructor, John Whitman, and just walking around barefoot. Leo did not like a baby in like a Bjorn thing. He usually doesn't bark at anything, but there's a guy walking, and he's got the baby in the front of him facing away, and the little baby's out there. And Leo's like, what the heck is this weird human thing? He's like, like, Leo, what's your problem? Don't bark. He's a super good dog. So I was like on alert. I'm like, what's going on? Who's he freaking growling at? And I'm like, oh, he thinks that's really weird.
Yeah.
Where sometimes with our two dogs, we've got that collar that brings them together. It's one leash, and people sometimes look and like, oh my gosh, I thought it was a 2-headed dog. So their bodies are so close, and they're like, oh my gosh, this is a deformed Frenchie. I'm like, no, they're just really close. And they're not yippy dogs.
No.
I hate yippy dogs. But what are we going to do, guys, to change things? And I look at so much, and it just does not seem the way I want to be living life. Not at all. Mm-hmm. Not, I mean, I really enjoy teaching, empowering people but do I want to be here until 8:30 at night and be here at 5 a.m.? It's a tough lifestyle being a gym owner. Or, sometimes, some people don't, whatever they're organizing their life, but we're really trying to maximize profit by offering things throughout the day. I would much rather be hanging out and doing some farming or, doing some stuff that I was relying on. My food, actually my wife used yesterday, I was like pissed off about just everything. I'm like, you look at bars, you look at different stuff. I'm not going to name the name of the product, but it's got a little bit of protein, and yeah, I'm not going to do it all the time, but you start to look at it and it's got all these seed oils in it, and it's just ridiculous. You're like, it's not even good for you. It seems like maybe it's better than some of the other brands. She's like, what now? What are we going to, one of us quit our job? I'm like, I volunteer. I quit. I'll just podcast. I don't make any money. I'll quit. I'll podcast. I'll stay home and cook and make our own stuff.
You'd make a great stay-at-home husband.
I would.
You would? Oh, yeah. Yeah, dude. You're jacked and you cook?
And you cook.
Right.
I do laundry. So, it's annoying, the stuff that's in our food. These chemists are just changing stuff to get you addicted. It really is food is just the biggest drug, and it's legal, and it's a bunch of crap in just about everything. You start looking at it, you're like, crap. This bar's crap. It's better than some of the other ones, but they're still not good for you. How do we change that? Paul Saladino is another good one, and he was looking at meatballs at Subway, and he's like, there's so many ingredients in this freaking meatball, and it's a bunch of crap stuff. He calls out a ton of people. There's been some like, hey, I forget what product it was. Like, they're changing X in their product because I called them out a year ago. Like, freaking awesome, making changes. But these big food companies, we've got to demand better food. It's one thing if I'm president, like, we need to change this stuff. You got a year to change. Why are you putting this crap in the food? Why? Why is this stuff in there? I'd highly recommend you get into the science with Gary Brecka and listen to that podcast, because I'm a motivator. I'm not a scientist. Never claimed to be. Played a doctor once. That was only on TV.
That's scary. I was just thinking about nobody would ever want to play doctor or have doctor played on them by you. That's all I can think of. I'm like, John, just stop, dude.
Just stop.
Just stop.
Yeah, I play one on TV. They say that all the time.
Yeah, they do.
I'm not a doctor. I just play one on TV. It's crazy. There's stuff that we don't. There's just no need for it. Like these seed oils. There was a pot that I think it was him that said they got fact checked on Instagram. And it was fact checked, and of course Joe Rogan goes off like, who are these fact checkers? And we're believing these fact checkers. So it was on seed oils, canola oil. It was fact checked by the Canadian Canola Council or something like that. How are you able to fact check this? Have you looked? I mean, watch Paul Saladino's Instagram. Like, we were looking at it yesterday for just content and the way he posts his content. Look at how this stuff is processed, people. Get this stuff off. It's poison. It's legal poison. I mean, he's got a post on alcohol, legal. Tobacco, nicotine, legal. Something else. Raw milk, illegal. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy to me. We need, as a society, to make some changes in everything. I mean, I think one of his big things was, what was I saying? Take folate out of your diet. What they're spraying all the wheat and grains with that they started to do in 1992, 93, I think he said. Like, we're spraying, we're fortified, it's fortified. Ooh, that's a great fancy word. I'm like, again, You're changing the word. You're making it sound appealing to anybody. Ooh, it's fortified. I want fortified. But it's crap. I think he said, I don't know if it was 60. It was a big number of people that cannot tolerate it. I strongly recommend you listen to Straight from the Fact, or From the Source, and these guys that really specialize in it. I just want to be a trainer and motivate people and help them down the road of being better and discovering it myself. There's a bunch of crap out there, people, and fluoride. Well, we were talking about that, Josh, right? Mm-hmm. Fluoride and links to IQ. The higher the fluoride content in the city's water, the town's water, the lower the IQ. But hey, shut up. And I feel so many times politicians won't backtrack and say they're wrong. They never do. You can't go now. Like, now they're down. Like, ooh, we've been doing it this long. We can't tell people we were wrong. Yeah, you can. Why can't you own your mistake? I was wrong. It was like, I was wrong about Josh. I can backtrack. I can go on the air and be like, I was wrong about Josh. He's going to lead me wrong.
Right.
I mean, if that happens, I'll be glad to say I was wrong. I thought this guy tricked me.
Mm-hmm. And next thing you know, I teach classes.
Next thing you know. Next thing you know, I've morphed. I've got Rocky Mountain Self-Defense and Fitness over here.
Yeah.
Josh has changed the address.
John's like, when are you getting your tattoo? And
what do you got a tattoo?
Yeah, well, everybody else does. I'm not going to do it, but you know how many people have RMSDF tattoos?
No, there's nobody.
Yeah, there's a few.
Who has an RMSDF
I'm not going to say
tattoo?
their names, but they do. Absolutely, they do.
Is it on their butt? Is that why I don't know?
I never asked.
Well, how do you know?
Because they
Who's
told
saying,
me.
I'm
not saying the name. Because they're a great student here, and I have a lot of respect for him, and I can't help it if they've got an RMSDF tattoo on their butt.
Well, I would say a lot. What are you saying, like 1%?
If you get one person to get a tattoo of what you do, you've done something great. I mean, you've gotten to the point where they're willing to tattoo it on their body. So think about that. You've had that effect on people. That's big. That's huge.
Yeah, well, martial art, I've got a Taekwondo tattoo.
Yeah. Here
for that black belt. It was a significant thing in my life. I've got a Krav Maga. It's the Alliance logo here for when I got my first degree black belt, just kind of signifying that path. Mm-hmm. So I understand, people are passionate about different things.
Sure,
so,
yeah.
As long as they don't get my face, God, people that get Joe Rogan on
maybe
them,
you're doing this.
I do Joe Rogan. I don't do that pose. I will never do that pose.
They didn't see it, so
good, and I'm not going to do it because you're like, you'll screen capture it and put it on everything, and then I'm going to have to threaten to fire you. Your wife's going to come home crying.
I will take your worst moments.
John was saying he's going to fire you.
How
Stop
could you
effing
screw
up
up another job?
I've told you before.
It's always like this with you.
Why don't you learn, Josh? Why don't you learn? No, you were right about that post. People, what are we gonna do? I'm gonna shout out and put little things out there, but we gotta demand it from our legislature. We have to make. Do you guys care about us? All this stuff. Oh, we care about you. There's stuff. They were talking about the FDA banning, and you're like, why? There's no. Oh, what? We didn't pay somebody off. We didn't go through this, but it's been out there and being used, and it's in our best interest. If it's in our best interest, why the hell are people still being put on, what is it? Serotonin, is it serotonin for depression?
Yeah, serotonin intake inhibitors.
Inhibitors, right? This is BS. We're going to have heroin-based painkillers out there that people are going to get addicted to. Those things haven't been banned by the FDA. They're trying to throttle themselves back.
Sure.
But you're speaking out of both sides of your mouth. You're taking something off that's good, that hasn't caused an opiate epidemic, and you're going to take this off, but you're still going to allow the pharmaceutical companies to sell this. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't understand. FDA, government, the government's never been wrong, and you can't backtrack and say we were wrong. That's what pisses me off about politicians. Mm-hmm. Hey, we've discovered this. Own it. that's the way I take my gym. Like, we're trying to get better. Don't say stagnant. We're trying to get better. Hey, we found this other thing that we can incorporate in. That's what we've recently done here in the last year with our Citizen Defender program and the IDS from Todd Fossey of like, we're integrating. We found something else that integrates really well to what we do here. Self-defense. You know, people just fall into, oh, I heard BJJ's really good. What I say to people, what are you really trying to get out of it? We borrow from that, but our mindset is constantly self-defense. Constantly. Street fighting. How I'm going to deal with situations. That's what we do here. And I'm like, we have no way. I really like the circle and progression because it's really the way I started martial arts in my journey of, you know, Bruce Lee. Like, there is no way. I don't care. Like, do a little bit of everything. And that's, you know, even back in my Taekwondo days. You know, my buddy Jack, I just looked at somebody with Russell. Jack Marshall said, you know, he was a boxer. And we'd like, all right, let's do this and let's do that. And, you know, my Taekwondo instructor would get mad at us on sparring days because we were not sparring Taekwondo style, right? We're like, who cares? Let's just, like, we're going to do this. Like, and we're agreeing to punch each other in the face where he's like, you know, no punches to the face until you're black belts. And we're like, whatever, dude. Somebody's going to punch you in the face. I'm going to tell you right now. But he didn't like it. And we kind of went, the customer's always right. Right? Like, hey, but we're sparring, we're doing that. Like, if you don't want those guys, but we're into the agreement, we're doing that. Oh, well. Kick us out. The money talks.
Right.
So, I like it. Where we've kind of come around and, you know, Todd kind of saying, you know, there is no way. Just things that work. And that is a Krav Maga philosophy of in with the new and out with the old. Let's be evolving. Let's not get tied to anything. But I think that's where people get lost in looking at self-defense. That they just go with the popular thing. I don't like popular. And like, you want to wear Lululemon? No. It's popular? No. I don't want to. And there's a bunch of other reasons I won't wear any Lululemon products ever.
They make them for men now.
Oh, I'm well aware.
I've
my
seen
daughter,
the commercials.
my wife, my stepson, like, what? I'm like, no, I don't like it. They actually thought I would like it. That these are really
did they buy you
similar
some?
to. Oh, they bought me. My wife bought me a pair of pants, and I had said, I think I texted my daughter. It would be way back, like a couple weeks. It would take too long to scroll to. But I'm like, this would be a sure sign that somebody has stolen your dad's phone or I'm dead. That, yes, get me something from Lululemon. I'm like, somebody has killed your dad and has his phone. Like, I would never say that. But my wife, I don't know how many times I've told her, nope, she brings a pair up. I'm like, you can return them. She's like, you're not even going to try them on? I'm like, no. I don't care. I'm like, no, I have other pants that I like. I don't like the brand.
Wow.
And actually, Paul Saladino's got a good post on it. I'm like, there's more evidence. There's more evidence. Here you go. I found that one. I'm like, all right. And here's another reason I'm not going to wear it. But that guy, so a little bit, can be over the top. Yeah, there's got to be moderation. There's got to be moderation. I think he's anti-coffee. That'd be really hard. I could do it. I'm taking coffee out, but I enjoy it. And I might get hit by a truck. Are you working, Josh?
I am. I'm double checking your stream, and I'm doing it on the camera. So yeah.
We're actually live on YouTube?
God, I hope so.
You better hope so.
I mean, that's
the
whole reason I'm here. I haven't even brought myself in yet.
Good. I'm going to see if I can do a whole show without you.
Okay,
And you're just
let's
a
see.
voice in the back.
Okay, I'll do that. We'll do that today.
We're going to do that today.
So, talking about fast food, did you, I was looking, like, I'll look at menus of restaurants, fast food places, because they're required to post the ingredients on some of that stuff. So, I went to the Taco Bell one just to see what would be on there, right? And there's one that stood out to me that said, caution, so much salt that if you have health problems, you should not eat this meal. So alone, there was something like 1,200 milligrams of sodium or more.
Yeah.
And then when combined with something else, would go up to 2,000. inside this one meal. And here's the other thing is that when I was in high school, some of the meals that you could get at the checkout line in the cafeteria was either a Chick-fil-A sandwich or a piece of pizza from Domino's Pizza. So we had this entire cohort of students that wouldn't choose the school food because who wouldn't want a Chick-fil-A sandwich, right? It tastes good. But now we've got this whole cohort of individuals who think it's okay to have that kind of food every day for lunch. And that's what they learned in school. So then they have children, right? And the first thing that they're thinking is that what is the school going to offer? They have no problem saying go after this food because they never look into it, right? They don't know what they're eating and they're accustomed and they're okay with it. But there's so much salt in a Chick-fil-A sandwich. They're delicious, but they're loaded with sodium, right?
Yeah,
and they're cooked in
anything else.
And again, who knows what's holding the chicken together?
Check Paul Saladino's post out. I believe he does stuff on Chick-fil-A. I mean, he calls out a lot of stuff, and even just foods that people think are good for you. And that's where I'm at. Like, I'm really trying to be better. I was a little, we talked about I was a little off the rails, quote unquote, with different, quote, healthy bars.
Yeah.
And it's really easy to get into a routine. I'm really trying as much as possible, so not 100%, but is it real? Is it real food? And again, meat, eggs, that type of stuff, very small amounts of fruit or berries, nuts, and that's another one like Paul Saladino's a little odd. I'm like, jeez, that's like, come on. I'm like, what am I going to eat? He's like Joe Rogan's like carnivore diet guy. He's been on Joe Rogan. But I'm really just trying to clean it up as much as I can and as many meals as I can. Because again, you're like, all right, there's got to be some sort of balance, but it can't be balanced. But hey, sometimes I'm going to have some fun.
Yeah.
There's different things here and there, and you're like, okay, it's going to be hard to take out absolutely everything.
So they put so many oils in foods, and some of these oils that they use, you can also use inside of like paint.
Yeah.
Right? And treating wood. And I know it's a food grade food, but when you take linseed and you turn it into an oil and then you consume it, I don't think humans ever evolved to consume linseed oil, right? Or a lot of oils, as a matter of fact. I have a hard enough time with some olive oils.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let alone trying to get some of those other exotic ones. They tell you they're healthy, but there's just so much saturated fat in a lot of them. It just blows me away. And they're food grade, and they use them in everything. I mean, you start looking at the backs of, you go to the store, pick up a bag of chips, and what was it cooked in, right? What was this made with? What's binding this thing together? I loved Wonder Bread, and I still love it growing up, but it's fortified. It's loaded with all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
It's loaded.
Like any of that. All those wheats, flours. It's great. I think the only thing you can do is like the organic, it's not fortified. I mean, there's one that they talked about on that episode, 10X Health, Gary Brecka, B12. I think it's B12.
Mm-hmm.
That he's like, that's in everything from the Flintstone vitamins. He's like, look at it, and I think it would if you break it down to what's in that. And I could be wrong. So again, there's a lot. And I listened to that episode twice, trying to get all of his stuff down. I think that's the one that has when they test it, a single dose isn't going to cause you harm, but there's an agent in that. And that might be the wrong word, but it's in chemical weapons.
Huh?
They looked it up on Joe Rogan. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
They're allowed to put this stuff in there? Oh, because it doesn't cause you harm with a small one-time dose? Well, what about 10 years?
Of taking this.
Of taking it.
Yeah.
And it's, again, we're slowly getting eroded with these little things. They're not happening to you right away. And your body, kind of, okay, this is what we're putting in. The human body's, crazy because there's drug addicts, there's alcoholics that are just poisoning their body, yet they're still functioning. They don't just drop dead. It's the wife that's, slowly poisoning her husband over time, right? He just didn't drop dead. It's slow.
It's
and
methodical.
they're poisoning us in our foods, in what we're drinking. It's crazy.
I was watching it was a documentary on how they process meats, and there's a lot in large industrial scale level meat manufacturing plants. There's a lot of nasty bugs that show up, things that can infect you and make you sick. And then they go to a local farmer who's growing and butchering their own meat, and they can't find these bugs showing up. And they're doing it in the open air and sunshine, to prepare their food. So just the way they prepare our foods inside of these factories lead to nasty things getting in, stuff we don't want in, right? That we try to keep out of them, but the high production methods cause these sort of things to happen. And they're making food for the masses, so they have to have these fillers, right? Because there's not enough of the actual stuff in there. They've got to make it cheap and profitable. So throw in an oil, throw in some sawdust. So, if it's not... it's fillers. They're gross.
Yeah. I mean, if I could have my dream, why can't we have a small place, even if it was in a county? It all depends where in the country. But why can't we have a dairy farm, a cattle farm, little smaller, but that's not profitable to have a small place for local. It's like I think we've talked about in the podcast of why can't we have a community garden and different things where it's grown locally. But we need real food, real meat. We did not evolve eating this crap. Yeah. And the oils and everything else. I mean, I think there's so much just in meat, eggs, that you can't get from a plant-based diet.
Yeah.
And people will freak out about that. And you can't. Oh, you're going to try to do it some other way, but now why can't you do it naturally?
Sure.
Why are you putting something else in to compensate? And meat is getting a bad rap. And what is how much it takes to grow, whatever it is, Brussels sprouts and spinach, and they're spraying the crap out of it. Mm-hmm. Is it really freaking healthy? And what's the toll on the earth? Why can't we have small little farms, little community things? And again, that's not profitable and everything else. But again, I don't like the modern culture. It's crazy. Actually, this guy, Gary Brecka, said, I really like what he said. He goes, I'm saying this, what did he say? I'm going to misquote him. The pursuit of comfort is leading you, is the pursuit, I've totally hacked this, to death. But he's basically saying the more you want to be comfortable and do comfortable things, the faster you're aging and dying. Mm-hmm. Crazy. We talk about all the time. Get off your ass. Do something. Do stuff. And I know, so much of my job is sitting here at this desk. Mm-hmm. But I'm out and doing other things. At least I'm teaching. You're up for the other part. And get out and get into the environment is really hard. Natural sunlight. Yeah, here in Colorado, it can be a little tough. It's getting cold. Mm-hmm. But we're inside so much. We didn't evolve that way. Mm-hmm. We did not. And it's harder and harder. Yeah. So, if you visit his website, again, you look at I don't know if he called it the Ultimate Human Package, but it's super expensive. But he's like, hey, you could get outside, you could do some grounding, you could do all these things that are free. But it is kind of hard sometimes to get outside and be in the sunlight. And it's cold, it's hot, it's this and that.
And sourcing your food is hard. You got to go get the groceries, right? And the places you get them from sometimes pesticides and the way they transport, and you know what I mean? It's a lot. It's so easy just to go and pick up that meal at a fast food restaurant instead of worrying about it.
It is. I mean,
it's the comfort part of it. I could go do all the cooking, but tonight I'm lazy. I'm not gonna worry about it.
Yeah,
that's where we're at.
So lazy. I think we were talking about it last week, or was it a rant I did on One of your shorts or whatever you want to call it.
There was a couple rants where you're talking about food. We talk about it a lot, so it's hard to remember all the sections. But comfort kills.
Yeah, and I'm with you. Like, it is difficult sometimes that we want the easy route, but it's planning, it's figuring things out. And yeah, it's not going to be easy. But people overeat. We talk about that all the time. You don't need so much. Like, why are we so fat and unhealthy? And our governments and the food industry is not helping us out. The food industry is not helping us out. Even fluoride in the water. You look at this data and they just want to shush it aside. What are the look at it.
Yeah,
Why can't we backtrack? And it just annoys me to no end that our government cannot fix this stuff. It's bad enough that they do a ton of other crap and not backtrack and go, oh, maybe we shouldn't have invaded Iraq. But we did. You're like, those mother effers and the food industry, you're a whole bunch of freaking assholes. Because you know what you're doing to the food. You know. You're a scientist. Wait, you guys know what you're doing. You're poisoning people and getting people addicted to your crap for profit.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't even have to kill me. I mean, the big food industry will sniper me.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to change, but they could. They could.
Yeah.
Change, but yeah, are people going to throw a fit?
Profitability. I know.
Everybody. That's what I'm like. Our government needs to go. There's a mandate. This whole freaking mandate. Everything's got to be electric. Okay, we're really looking at that. But how about we mandate food quality and the crap that they're putting in it? And then it would be a level playing field. People would detox and then have to eat real food.
Mm-hmm.
Of course people are going to be pissed.
Yeah.
Their taste buds are totally jacked up because there's so much sugar in their food and every other crap. You will slowly go, oh, this is real. Actually, it was yesterday. I'm like, I put raw honey in my coffee. And I'm like, I don't know how to. I'm like, I'll put raw honey. I'm like, this is way too sweet. But at least it was real.
Yeah, it's a real sugar.
And I was like, geez, I can't do this. I really, I could give it up. There's other, reasons. God, how much am I going to give up here?
I mean, I recommend people have like a teaspoon of honey a day. I mean, it's really good for you if you have allergies.
I think
and
I
stuff
might
like
just
that.
have it as dessert or something.
Yeah.
But I didn't like it in my coffee.
No, honey and coffee's
I don't know. That would be the last thing I'd give up. Would be coffee.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I could do. I was like, maybe I'll do it.
I don't know. It scares me to see what they put on, like how they treat the beans and stuff. A lot of companies, I mean, it's self-regulating. They usually don't spray them, but who knows what they're putting on coffee?
Yeah, that's Paul Saladino's thing with coffee is, what are they doing? Hey, Black Rifle.
Yeah.
Hey, here's a chance. Be on the cutting edge.
Right.
Clean your shit up.
And we drink your
coffee
a lot.
I don't know. I'm like.
Right. They can have really clean stuff. Hey, did you know that fluoride is the number one effector on men's reproductive systems?
Fluoride?
Yeah.
Is that why you?
I don't have kids. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's why. Well, in the United States, they've seen the reproductive level go down, right? And sperm counts are at an all-time low. I mean, we're at like a quarter of what
because it's so,
generation before. Because
fluoride. I've never heard the fluoride, and there's so many other contributing factors to that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's stuff that just the mom, what is it, tea tree oil? There's all sorts of stuff.
Tea tree oil, yeah.
They got these lotions, whatever. Now they're holding their baby, and these boys getting all jacked up. But nobody wants to talk about that because that's too difficult.
Right, we got to have the fluoride in the water, even though it's already in my toothpaste.
What's in prenatal vitamins?
Yeah.
Oof. You might want to look at that if you're thinking about having a child. Like these prenatal vitamins and miscarriage. And it's a load of crap, people. It's a load of crap. So let's
change it.
I don't know. Clip this, something. We've got to demand it from our government, people. If we don't demand the change, they're not, and they don't take ownership. That really pisses me off, that they're not taking ownerships of seeing a mistake. What's wrong? I say that to our instructors. own it. If you make a mistake, who cares? Just go back to your students like, hey, I jacked that up. I was wrong. Man, I messed up the lesson. I got confused. Whatever. People respect that more than you BSing them. Mm-hmm. I'm like, just own it. Or somebody's asking you a question. But I don't have the answer. Let me get with one of the higher level belts or John. Let's do that. So, look, guys, if you are in the Castle Rock area and you're looking for self-defense that's well-rounded, check out rmsdf.com. That is our sponsor of the show. That is us, because we have no sponsors whatsoever. No, RevGear sponsors us, but that's just a little... If you click on it, I don't think we've made any money off of that. We haven't been plugging it in a while. But we are here. Go to shop.rmsdf.com. Threw in some things that we'll be talking about. There's a couple new things on there. F Around and Find Out t-shirts is up there. That's a newer one. So those are our sponsors that really helps us share it out there. ClearSky.Training. We're always trying to make that better, but our big bread and butter here is rmsdf.com and training people that want to learn how to defend themselves with a firearm. That is totally different, guys, than just doing MMA. It's what we do here. It's self-defense. It's not competition. And the other side, and I'm super passionate about, is functional fitness. Doing things that are going to get you healthy and strong. And another thing that I've got coming up, inspired by my buddy Troy Straith up in Vancouver, is I think I'm going to be putting together a small group. Maybe we'll start with one time slot, but I'm going to start a small group private training group. Open to any level. It's not part of the Peaceful Warrior Project. It is going to be private, or this semi-private class up to 4 people that they can train. And they've got that individual attention, which sometimes as a business owner, I think somebody said, selfishly, it's great when I'm the only person in class. Or we get a small class, like it's our, 5 o'clock fitness class has never come back from COVID for whatever reason. People working out, there's all those reasons. Cheap stuff out there and people choosing, I'll just go and be on my phone. I think I just said that in a rant yesterday. You want to go and tell your spouse you're working out and you're just looking at girls on your phone and at 24
or
whatever, then hey, choose the cheap fitness. We are not cheap fitness here. You get a coach, somebody helping you all along, little things that people do wrong. Everybody needs a coach. So that's the stuff we're passionate about, and share it out, tell a friend, get out there, and you can do it, folks. If you're out there listening somewhere else, hey, you can find that fit. They're out there all over the place. That there's good quality gyms that are doing these things, and it might not be, I would say, the big glamorous one, and everybody's, this is where the UFC fighters train. Well, are you going to go into the UFC? It certainly sounds cool, but are you focused on self-defense and the things that are happening out there? We can, again, certainly borrow, read to all the time, and I love sparring and just messing around. That stuff is fun, but it also can affect what we're doing. Even that scenario Bill had today, I was focused there and I didn't observe because I was just lightning focused on somebody confronting whatever you were doing. I think you slapped my pretend kid or whatever, or wife, and you're laser focused on that. We're doing so much. I'm there's not enough time in the day, and training technique and doing all this other stuff. There's so much to self-defense.
Yeah.
There's so much. There's so much to every martial art. But that's our focus. Our number one thing here is self-defense. And we borrow, and we always keep everything we're doing here well-rounded. So, what did Bill say I should do a podcast on? I'm Bill.
Be ready.
Be ready. I'm I just did Battle Ready. Why don't you freaking listen to the podcast?
Right. Come on, Bill.
Come on, step it up.
Come on.
That's why you're not getting 3rd degree anytime soon.
Oh, so we got a second?
Oh yeah, he got
Okay.
second.
I don't know. I didn't hear it in out. I mean, if I'd got my second, I'd wear it like a badge, like 2 stripes.
Well, they can get that new the new T-shirt. They are waiting for their belts, but yeah, they've all been debriefed.
Oh, good.
In there, but again, stop rushing it, and you know,
it's a journey.
It's a journey. It really is. So
you don't really ever finish. You know what the scariest kind of mad scientist is out there?
No, I have no idea.
Food scientist.
Food scientist?
They figure out ways to be able to feed you something that tastes good to make it cheap, profitable. That is the scariest scientist out there.
Yeah, that is, and that's pretty much all they employ. You know, there's so much to it. And I think you guys, as Bill said, stop training to the test. I've always said, like, why are you ready? Why are you ready now? Oh, we're going to step it up. Your training has to be on all the time. And again, you need to cycle. You don't want to kill yourself all the time. And that can be a problem, especially for our older athletes, of overdoing it. But you have to be ready. You have to be pushing your body. This whole, I'm going to get ready to do my whatever test is BS. Why the heck weren't you ready 6 months ago? Because something could have happened to your family 6 months ago. Yeah, that frustrates me. That's annoying.
It is
annoying.
annoying.
You look all focused over there.
It was while I was setting things up.
What are you setting up?
The closed bumper music when we get there, since you've got to go teach class. So I was just getting ready. Why are we questioning what I'm doing?
Because
you're the one that's supposed to be talking right now. I gave you a great setup on the crazy food scientist.
Crazy setup? Food scientist? We've talked about that. Look, we've just got to get it out there. People need to demand a change. These mother effers.
Yeah.
The food industry. Demand change, people. Demand change, because they're slowly killing you. Slowly making you fatter, and you're just complacent little sheep all herded in there. John, is that a real sound effect? John, so, everybody really liked your Chewbacca last week.
When did I do Chewbacca? Yeah, I mean, I do it a lot.
Yeah. Oh, not Chewbacca. It was your Bigfoot, but it was really Chewbacca.
Okay, I do a great Chewbacca. Yeah.
Yeah, we're still super. We're still super low budget here. Even though I feel like you could make sound effects.
Oh yeah, we could do sound effects. We'll get a soundboard.
From the computer instead. Instead, Josh is over there rapping. I can't even do. I'm not.
I tried rapping once, and they were like, "No, that's not. No. Stick to singing." And I was like, "Are you sure?"
Josh is over there making all those. I can't even do any of those. Like, that's pretty good.
Thank you.
Like Josh can do it. I cannot do it.
That's water dripping.
Good job, Josh.
I can do dog growling. I can do the Emperor from Star Wars. Your power is amazing. The dark side is strong in you. Pretty good, right?
Pretty good. How many times did you watch that?
No, I just got lucky.
I got lucky.
I've got one of those voices that has like a range. I know I can go really raspy deep or super high. So.
Yeah, that's good, Josh. That's
Thank
good.
You. Thank you.
Right.
I could use a job voice acting.
Get on it, and if you're off of it, get back on it. Doesn't matter. We say that here all the time. Be battle ready. Why are you battle ready? Be a man. Be a woman that's in charge of her family and is going to be that mother bear and is going to protect her kids versus complacent little sheep doing whatever the government, whatever they tell me to do, and take the easy path. That's a hard thing. I constantly don't look at the comments. There's crazy people and putting things out there. I put that crazy one out. I don't know. I got nothing to. I don't know why YouTube did not make that a short. It's 57 seconds. It did not fall on our shorts. It's even hashtag shorts.
Yeah.
It's an illusion. I'm thinking of recutting it because it didn't go to shorts.
Yeah, put on shorts. That was a good one.
But I was going to call it. What was I going to call it? I think I was just going to call it F this or something like effing illusion.
Yeah.
And maybe people that just change the title so it is something different.
But it's a good.
I got to recut it. But I was afraid. I was on a date night with my wife. I'm like, hey, I got this piece of content coming out, and I thought it was great. You were there, because she's like, actually, I don't know if she noticed that I was filming, but she noticed I filmed. I didn't throw out anything from this week's, because again, I think it sucks. But I said, I thought it was really good, so I decided to record this thing on my whole journaling thing. And I thought it was great. Sunday, Monday, thought it sucked. I showed it to Josh. He said it's the best piece of content I've ever done, because you said it was raw.
It was real.
It was real. I got a text message from one of our longtime, I think he is the longest active member, from Tom Marks yesterday. He's like, hey, I liked your post, but so whatever, you're dying, because I think that whole thing of it's just an illusion. I'm dying.
Mm-hmm.
We're all dying. Doesn't matter. Right from birth, you've got a diagnosis of you're dying. And what rate are we dying? And sometimes just coming to grips with that. I think a lot of people can't wrap their head around that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If I'm dying, I think their first thing is, oh my God, you have cancer. Oh my God, what are you dying of? But if you treat it like you're dying, it's kind of back to, if you were here at the beginning and made it this far, thanks for listening. But my wife of, oh my God, it's just nonstop. I'm kind of like, F it. I can never get everything done. Every idea I have, I can never get it done. So I'm at the point for a lot of years now that I'm like, whatever. It's either going to work or it's not. I'm trying hard. If it doesn't work, I'm going to move to Costa Rica. Whatever. What are you saying?
This would be great.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, if the gym goes under, I don't need all these things. I don't need stuff.
Gym's not going under, and we love our home. Don't get rid of our gym.
Just kidding. Just kidding. You know what my problem is with that? You know what my problem is with Costa Rica? I'm going to give you 3 tries, and if you don't get it, I'm going to start.
Okay, go. We got to make them quick, because you got to go teach class.
You.
Yeah, now you're
I'll give you 3 chances.
Okay, go.
You. I'm not going to tell you. Why do I have a problem with Costa Rica?
It's not a U.S. state, so the taxes are real high. It's hard to get stuff because you're living on an island.
Are you in? Are you on the feed? Because I'm going to start punching you.
No, I'm not. You said not to bring me in today. Remember, I'm going to do a whole show without Josh, and you're just the voice in the back. And then third, I brought myself in at the very, very end.
You better make this count, Josh.
And then the third one is...
you don't even know.
Well, I can't even remember the first 2. The exchange rate. Okay, there's my 3 guesses.
Those were the worst freaking guesses.
Those are all legitimate guesses. What is it?
I'm going to give you a second to think. I'm going to give you a second to think, and then I'm coming over there.
It's hot.
You can't have...
Your weapons? Okay. I mean, well, yeah, I get that one. That's why I would.
Okay, that's number 1.
Okay, that's number 1.
You would be like,
okay,
wait a second, you can't have an AR-15.
Right. And you can't, there's no, not good lawyers?
I don't know about that. But,
I don't know.
Right, you can't have a firearm.
Yeah, that would suck.
That's like my biggest holdup. Of like, the older I get, I want to be able to defend myself, and the firearm is the best thing, and that's why we've added it into our program here. It is the ultimate equalizer, but you need to be able to be a fighter with that gun. You're thinking you're just safe. Oh, God. I have a gun. I have this. You need to know how to use that tool, and not just on the range. How to work with it at contact distance, how to keep it. It is just crazy how hard that stuff is on it. When you're not justified to use your weapon. It's, again, the easy route, right? Oh, fucking people. And the easy route. Oh, just easy. I fucking hate you.
There he goes.
Fucking do something hard. Just do it. Stop going, I'm safe, I'm doing this, blah, bullshit. Get after it. Find a place to train. Be on it. Be battle ready every freaking day. Get physically fit. Stop being somebody that's going to complain. What did I say? Skinny bitches? Oh, look for that one. Get your fucking ass on it Get your fucking ass on it and you own it. And be a skinny bitch. But stop calling people a skinny bitch. Get after it. Why aren't you a skinny bitch? Did you make bad decisions? Okay, own your fucking bad decisions. I made a mistake. I got off the fucking rails. And now I got to detox off this poison. And I'm going to own it. But you got to own it. Get out there and train. All right, Josh wants to take me off. I'm out.